When you think of Star Wars, who is the first character that comes into your mind? It's him. And there is a simple reason for that. Darth Vader is so iconic, so tremendously well built, that you, the person watching the films, can relate to, even if he is the villain. He isn't oddly entertaining or cracking jokes for the fun of it, but he has a presence that cannot be ignored. Your eyes are glued to the screen. Do you know another quality he has? He is immortal, and he will always be that way. Looking past the cool fight scenes and the shiny lightsabers, you could argue he was the reason you watched Star Wars as a kid, or even now as an adult. Every time he would make an appearance on screen, you would gasp and watch with bubbly eyes as he spoke in his menacing voice. Let's look at another. Batman, the Caped Crusader, has loads of villains in his gallery of rogues, but the most famous of all has to be the Joker, another iconic and undying character in the pop culture scene. And it's so easy to figure out why. Even Thanos in the Marvel Universe. He was a censor of the movies for 10 years. He was built up to be this unstoppable threat that all heroes were required to unite together to take him down. You understood his reasons, even though you might not have agreed with the means. But that was what made him such an incredible villain. Now, let's not dwindle any further. We are here to talk about World of Warcraft. Throughout the years, WoW has had numerous villains, from the World Devourer, Dementius, to the ever so elusive Edwin Van Cleef. But I will ask you the same question. Who is the first character that comes into your mind when you hear the word World of Warcraft? Exactly. It's him. No, I'm just joking. Chill. Don't kill me. I'm joking. It's none other than Arthas Menethil, the fallen prince of Lordaeron. Let's dive into why he is the reason so many people from all over the globe started to play World of Warcraft, and why Blizzard will never be able to escape his shadow and his undying influence looming over the player base. Literally everyone in the gaming scene has heard of the Lich King. I think even my mum, who has nothing to do with video games, knows about him. Trust me, I bet even your granddad does and has seen a picture of him somewhere. To first understand the problem World of Warcraft is facing right now and why I believe the audience has lost faith in the game, we must first understand what has gotten them hooked in the first place, because I believe the root of it stems from the story and story alone. You followed his descent into madness since Warcraft 3, when he was just a young paladin prince grasping for glory and to become a Grey King, until his fall in Wrath of the Lich King. The tipping point for his character has to be the culling of Stratholme, where Arthas is faced with an unbearable decision: to kill the corrupted citizens and have a chance of stopping the spread of the scourge, or spare them and ultimately face imminent extinction of life in Azeroth. The weight of this choice was his to bear alone, and he chose. What made this moment so crucial was the fact that you, the player, did not know if what he did was right or wrong. You saw his allies, Uther and Jaina, damn him and judge him, but somehow I bet you related to his choice in one way or another. And at the same time, you understood Uther and Jaina. That is what made this moment so impactful and great. One of my favorite authors, George R. Martin, says the only thing worth writing about is the human heart in conflict with itself. And this is the pinnacle of that. He was the hero, the chosen prince who fell to the darkness, ascended the frozen throne, and putting the mantle of the Lich King, sealing his destiny forever. With unwavering anticipation and excitement, you waited for the moment to see him again in the World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King expansion. He would make numerous appearances in various questlines in Northrend, in dungeons and raids, and every time your eyes met his, you felt it. That connection, those memories, the urge to put an end to his reign, to save his corrupted soul. This feeling is almost the same as with Darth Vader. You would sense the same joy and excitement every time you saw the Lich King, because his character was so well written, so fleshed out, that you just couldn't get enough of him. When you finally put an end to him and watched as his eyes turned black, you thought the story that World of Warcraft laid out before you finished. The Lich King was dead and the scourge stopped. For many, that was the end of World of Warcraft, as seen in the player numbers the following expansions managed to attract. I attribute the peak in player numbers to him, the Lich King. He was the reason people were so intrigued with the game, and when his story came to a close, so did WoW for many. In the expansions that followed, Blizzard has tried to introduce new villains, some old that return or bigger entities that threaten life on Azeroth, from big world-ending villains to small ones, but none of them managed to scratch that itch that the Lich King left behind. He took many players with him to his grave, and so many did not return from the afterlife. Of course you're gonna say, but what about Sargeras? He's supposed to be the big bad of the whole series. Yes, but he lacked something. And you know what? That humanity, that intrigue. Most of his story was told through books and not through the games. You played as Arthas, you have seen his fall, you have seen him fail, and you have seen him succeed. Arthas was just another human, like you, not an immortal titan. Sure, you can relate to Sargeras to some extent, but deep down he's not like you, the player. People have gotten used to World of Warcraft having an intriguing and complex fantasy story told through the medium of a video game. The purpose of it was to immerse yourself fully into the world and the story it presented. With intriguing protagonists and villains you could just lose yourself into. Nowadays, the villains of World of Warcraft have failed to capture the hearts of players. They have been too one-dimensional or too rushed as seen with the Jailer in Shadowlands or with Sylvanas Windrunner, who was kind of like the Daenerys Targaryen of World of Warcraft. It felt as if they were rushing and scratching their heads trying to find a new Lich King. But unfortunately, he could never be replaced by someone who can be dealt with within one expansion. Same with Fyrakk, for example, in Dragonflight. The game just said he was bad. To you, the adventurer meant you just needed to stop him. You did, and you forgot about him just as quick. There is no complexity to the villains of World of Warcraft anymore. Maybe with Xal'atath, we have a chance of actually coming just a bit close to Arthur's Menethil, even though it seems impossible. She has been built up and teased since the Legion expansion, and only now she has become the center of the new World of Warcraft storyline, the World Soul Saga. We have seen her fail, and we have seen her succeed. And that makes her interesting. With Blizzard wanting to tell the story within 3 expansions, they have the opportunity to flesh out her character, to show us she is a worthy villain to be taken seriously. I personally like her. She does not underestimate the player character. She even sees your potential as a champion. Her manipulative and elusive demeanor makes her a very interesting and complex character. Paired with her mysterious past, creates a somewhat intriguing and maybe hidden potential Metzen is telling with her character. She has been featured in almost every trailer and every poster within the game. Now you understand the importance of a great villain, or even a hero for that matter, but that is a topic for another video. However, only time will tell. But one thing you and I and Blizzard knows for certain: there shall never be another Lich King. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.